Good morning, sunshines. Check this out, you guys. Felicia, I love it. And my sons have a little mini sunshine one. I know that's my gratitude this morning, you guys. I'm just starting it right off. So, as you jump on, before we talk about peeing in my kitchen and habits, which is going to be really fun, say good morning, sunshine, hashtag GMS. Share something that you're grateful for, like your beautiful You Are My Sunshine mug that your friend Felicia brought back to you that has a mini matching little mug. Do you have one of those? Oh, that was a lot of words at once. Anything that you're grateful for, comment on it. There's a lot of new people that have been coming on and actively participating. And I just want to shout you out and say how much I appreciate that. Not just for me to get to see your beautiful faces, because I don't see you unless you comment, right? But also for yourself, that you're being proactive and taking that step to actually feel the gratitude, because it does make a difference. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Another gratitude. Let's talk about peeing in my kitchen. Good habits are hard to make and bad habits are hard to break. Today's conversation. So here's what happened. The Carroll family, here's what we decide. It's like, so you've got four kids, right? You've got a 19-year-old, an almost 17-year-old, a 4-year-old that's rambunctious. If you guys, does anybody else have kids out there? Like if you have kids, you want to just comment their ages? Like, right. And if you have any kids under 5, bless your soul. It's beautiful, but it's also like that time, right? So you've got this 4-year-old, and then you've got a 2-year-old who's going through some shit because of a rare cancer that he has and another disease that enables him from peeing normally, and also has put him into the land of chemotherapy for now 16 months. This is your world. And what do you decide to do? You're like, you know what we should do? Let's get a puppy. Let's get a puppy. Why wouldn't we get a puppy? So we bring said puppy home. Perfect situation, right? And I'm telling you what, you guys, Finley has been doing an amazing job. When we got her, she hadn't even been outside of her kennel or away from her parents, right? So I was like a hawk training her for the first 6 or 7 days. She only had 4 accidents, pee accidents inside total. I take her outside. There's a specific area that we have her go potty. She doesn't go upstairs in the house. She doesn't go downstairs in the house. She's got her little area that she's in most of the time unless we're with her, right? And things are good, right? Good habits sometimes can be hard to make because it took intense focus on a regular basis. But you know what? You know what? Bad habits, they just settle in, right? So what happens is additional people start to watch after Finley, or maybe they don't watch her as close, or maybe I'm not watching her as close because now I'm getting a little lax on my habits. This has to do with you, not just me, just so you know, right? And then she pees like once inside. I'm like, that's no big deal. Like, we're still training, we're working on it, right? And then I don't know what happens, you guys. I don't know what happens. A week later, all of a sudden she's peed 3 times on the carpet in her house. I'm like, what the mother what, right? I would call this a bad habit. Urinating in the house, on the floor, peeing in your kitchen like Finley did this morning. I don't think that's a good habit. We'll define good and bad in a second here. But so there she is, peeing inside. And all I'm thinking about is, man, good habits, hard to make. Bad habits hard to break, because now Finley knows that she's gone to the bathroom inside and she's like, I can do this, right? Because I've done it before. Before I was outside, but now I've done it inside. So why not just do it inside? I've already broken the seal, right? And we're having to retrain or continuously train or more determinedly train our puppy to go potty outside versus inside. All right, let's talk about you and peeing in your kitchen. First of all, I hope you don't pee in your kitchen. I hope you don't. That's weird. Our bathroom used to be right next to our kitchen downstairs. How weird is that? It was like bathroom kitchen. Anyways, that's a side note. I was just looking and thinking about that. Okay, so bad habits and good habits. Let's just think about, in your life, in your journey, some bad habits that you've had and some good habits that you've had, and what it took you to get there. Right. And I'm going to use one of the most simplest ones, because like health is just a common, I don't know, it's just like a common theme for the majority of people, especially coaching so many people through their health journey, right? Of eating good, right? Of eating, and I hate the words good and bad, but eating healthy, eating things that nourish our body, eating things that fuel our body versus something that provides instantaneous gratification that's going to make you feel like shit later, right? So there's probably a time, maybe for you, just like for me, there has been in my life where like I was so used to eating clean that my body did not crave. It didn't crave sugars. It didn't crave trans like fats. It didn't crave like the high carbs. It just didn't even want it, right? Like it wanted healthy stuff because I had been doing it for so long. But getting to that point took me some time, because good habits are often hard to form, right? They're hard to make. But then, and I remember this like so distinctly, having a bite of pineapple at my mom's house once. I'm like, oh my gosh, that tastes like complete sugar. Like pineapple was way too sweet. Has anybody been there before? Or you're there now, right? Way too sweet because I was so in the habit. And then like little things occur, right? Maybe you get pregnant, your nutrition changes. Maybe it's after pregnancy and you're trying to make milk, so your nutrition changes again. Maybe your nutrition just has changed completely since then. Maybe your baby gets diagnosed with cancer and you're like, F nutrition, give me a effing chocolate chip cookie. And like things start to change. Bad habits, man, those babies just settle on in, right? Because they're so much easier to do. Peeing in the kitchen, much easier than going downstairs or upstairs to the bathroom, closing, locking the door, opening the toilet lid, flushing it afterwards. I mean, just be in the kitchen, right? Don't pee in the kitchen, you guys. Not the point of the story. That was my dog, not a human. Okay, so let's just talk about habits for a second and how they form your life and how they impact all of us. And guess what? It's not any easier or more difficult for you than it is for me, than it is for someone else. It's just a matter of our tenacity in pursuing the good versus the bad and knowing our limits and what's going to suck us down to the other path. So first of all, what's good or bad? Good habit versus bad habit. That's your definition. Okay, so for each one of us, good versus bad it varies depending on you. It varies depending on for your time of life, your journey right now. We remember our 4 agreements. The 4th agreement is always do your best with what you have right now. So your definition of good versus bad is going to change over time, and it's going to be different than other people's. And don't expect somebody else's to be the same as yours. Like I've seen people eat so unbelievably clean. I'm like, that is not my idea of good habit. Like, to me, that doesn't feel good. Right? To me, good has to have a little bit of balance, but it felt good for them, right? So it can be a different definition for each one of us. I would say predominantly for me, a bad habit is going to be something that's going to harm me. For sure, if it harms anyone else, like anything that harms another human, right? And even in harming somebody else, I mean by making them feel less, feel worse, unkindness, right? Lack of patience, outbursts, like all of those would be bad habits to me because they're harming or hurting other people, or harming or hurting me. That would be the definition of bad habit for me. Now you get to define it yourself. Right. And after you do that of deciding what really is bad or is good, like is having the chocolate chip cookie bad and not in my idea, but only eating chocolate chip cookies is going to harm my body. So maybe not that long term. Right. So defining what that is to you. The next piece of it is when you're forming a good habit. Well, first of all, if you have a good habit right now, you guys, don't let it go, because it's so much harder to recreate that. If you are consistently going to the gym right now and there's going to be something that gets in your way inevitably in the future, if you can manage to allow yourself to continue that positive habit, allow yourself to do so. I would look back at my situation with almost a year ago, and I don't have any regrets in my path. Like I haven't worked out much in the last year, but I'm recreating the habit right now because now I have the time availability to. But I was doing my best at that time, so that still works for me. But there's other times where maybe it wasn't my best, but I like slowed down, right? So if you have your pedal, your foot on the pedal on the gas, whatever, you guys know what I'm saying, right? If you're moving forward in an area, allow yourself to continue to move forward. Make sure that you make that a priority because you've created the habit, and habits, when you've got the good habit going, that is so much easier than having to start over from the beginning. So high five to you, high five yourself. If you have any good habit you're doing right now, celebrate yourself. Do you continuously work out? Do you meditate on a regular basis? Do you practice Kundalini? Do you do cold showers in the morning or cold plunges? Do you do regular cryotherapy? Do you brush your teeth every single day, morning and night? Do you floss? Those are good habits. They're healthy for you. Did you know that flossing is related to heart disease? Anyways, I'm going to get a good way. You floss, less heart disease. Okay. Side note. Okay. So do you do certain things that take care of yourself? Keep doing those things. Keep doing those things. Now, pick out one thing. This is all we're going to do today, and we're going to be done. Pick out one thing that's your peeing in the kitchen. One thing of your peeing in the kitchen. What's one thing that's like probably not the most beneficial for you? House is going to start smelling. There's urine. I mean, how are you supposed to clean up that urine consistently? It's actually not that much easier when you look at the long-term distress of your body or of your household. Okay, so what's one habit that you're like, man, maybe that's one that I want to start to diminish, right? Bad habits are hard to break. Look at that, right? And then as you identify that, okay, maybe that's You know, I don't want to eat a bowl of ice cream every night before I go to bed, or I don't want to lose my patience with my kids every time 6 o'clock rolls around, or like the traditional habits that people stop, which would be, you know, drinking or smoking or other things that you know are harming your body. So pick something like, okay, that one's not for me. That one I do define as bad, and I want to recreate that. And when you do, one of the best ways to recreate a habit is to fill that space with something else. You don't want to just let the bad habit go, because it leaves a void that's waiting to vacuum something in. And if you don't have something pulled in, it can create a lot of distress and challenges for you to actually fill that. Right? So if you want to stop eating the bowl of ice cream every single night after dinner, you want to fill that time with something else. That could be a 5-minute walk up and down the street, right? So I'm just going to do that. It could be, instead of the ice cream, you want something sweet. So you're going to have your, your hot strawberry collagen tea or something. Like maybe there's like something that offers you the sweetness, but it doesn't provide the different, calories or fat or trans fats or whatever. Something that's still going to make you feel good. But fill it with something else. Maybe it's that you get to read 5 pages of your favorite book that you're on if you don't have the ice cream. Allow yourself to start to remove that, right, which you don't want, and fill it with something that's something you do want, and you'll see how much easier that is. This is a way longer conversation, you guys. Changing habits, long conversation. I really just want to talk about Finley peeing in the kitchen again today, because I'm like, oh shit, my dog is forming a bad habit and I need to nip it in the bud now. But it does connect, I think, with a lot of us and where we're at in our journey right now. So we always end with a commitment, right? As you just jump on here, you can say that you're committed. And what that means for today is identifying the good. It could just be that, any good habit you have, and perhaps identifying and starting to swerve on one of your not so good habits. Okay, you guys, good morning, sunshines. Don't pee in my kitchen. Callie Carroll here, chatting away with you guys. I hope you have a beautiful, splendorific, fantastic, marvelous day. Choose happy all around you. Choose gratitude, even when your dog is peeing in your kitchen or whatever you are. I don't know. And light and love, my house tears. Bye, guys.